Hello, boys and girls. Today for our social studies lesson, you're going to need the Holidays magazine that I sent home with the 2 packets. This is the magazine. This is actually the second time you use it this week. And we are going to open to page 6 where it says Martin Luther King Jr. Day and Cesar Chavez Day. We continue looking at holidays. So, there are holidays, boys and girls, that we share with other many countries, right? Like Christmas and Easter. Those are holidays that many people celebrate around the world. But our country has special holidays that are unique to our country, that are unique to our society. And that's what we are learning this week and probably next week too. We're learning about holidays that are only celebrated in the United States. Today we're going to talk about Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We had a day in January, and Cesar Chavez Day. It says some holidays honor people who have done important things for others. It says Martin Luther King Jr. Day is the 3rd Monday of January. That's what the Statue of Liberty is telling you. Alright, so some holidays, they honor very, very brave people. And one of them is Martin Luther King Jr. We spoke about him in class, but we'll continue learning about who he was. It says we honor Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. was a leader and a hero. He helped all Americans have the same rights. We honor him on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Alright, so let's continue reading. Let's take a look at what these 2 kids are doing. It says, be the change. That's what the poster says, the poster that they are doing. And it says, some people have parades on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Some people do service work to honor him. Service work is work that help others. Maybe you remember that poem that we learned for the African American history presentation. That day, many classes also honor Martin Luther King. Now, we're going to learn about someone that was also a hero, another person that was also a hero. His name was Cesar Chavez, and it says that his day is March 31, March 31st. That's what the Statue of Liberty here is telling you. And then it says, Cesar Chavez was a leader. He worked hard, so farm workers were treated fairly. It says, today, streets, I see something there. Today, streets and buildings are named for Cesar Chavez. Statues honor him, and we remember him on his birthday. His birthday just passed, boys and girls. It was March 31. And here you can see a street that has his name, Cesar Chavez. And here you can see a statue of him. And also some children carrying his picture. Alright, boys and girls. So we're going to learn a little bit more about what leaders are. I'm not sure if you have this page or no. I think you do. So if you do, you're gonna look for it on your packet. And we're going to read together. If you don't, that's fine. That's fine because you can read with me on the video. So first we're going to read about Cesar Chavez. He was the last one that we read about. And he says, Cesar Chavez was a Mexican-American labor union leader. He worked to improve conditions for farm workers. We know many farm workers, right? Cesar led peaceful protests like hunger strikes. A hunger strike is when you stop eating to show your strong feeling about something that he wanted to change. Cesar also organized a boycott of grapes in protest of unfair working conditions for farm workers. His contributions changed the lives of many Americans. So he did make a big change for people here in the United States, right? Do you remember where he was from? He was a Mexican-American. He was born here, but his family was from Mexico. How many of you are from Mexico? That's a beautiful country, right? All right, boys and girls. So we're going to talk about Martin Luther King Jr. now. Here we go. We can see him right here. We can see his picture. We know a little bit more about Martin Luther King Jr. because we learn and we talk about him in class. So here we go. It says Martin Luther King Jr. was an African American preacher and leader. A preacher, it's a pastor. He wanted equal rights for all people, no matter their skin color. Martin led peaceful protests like a bus boycott. He stopped riding buses because he didn't think it was fair that black people could not see whatever they liked. And Rosa Parks went to prison for that. His contributions changed the lives of many Americans too. All right, boys and girls. So here we have a Mexican American. Here we have an African American. And they were both leaders. All right, so I'm going to put this away. And I'm going to bring on the page. I'm sure you do have you do have this one. This one you do have it for sure. So I want you, boys and girls, to take out your scissors. You're going to look for scissors. And with your scissors, boys and girls, we are going to cut this part off. Alright, so we're going to go ahead, use our scissors. Con las tijeritas vamos a quitar esta parte completa de aquí. So now your page is going to look like this. I'm going to show you really quick. So this is what it's going to look like now. After you cut it, you're going to have your paper divided into two pieces. You see? Oh, by the way, do not forget to write your name at the top, please. I need your name at the top of the page. Very important. Your name and last name. Alright, so you have two pieces now. Now, I want you to grab your scissors again, boys and girls. And with your scissors, we are going to cut each of these rectangles. We are going to cut them apart. You're going to use your scissors, las tijeras. We're going to cut these rectangles apart. Be very careful, okay? Very careful. Scissors are only to cut paper. That's what we're going to do now. Alright? So I already cut mine so I could show you. And this is what you are going to have. You're going to have 6 rectangles. 3 of them are going to be for Cesar Chavez. 3 of them is going to describe Martin Luther King Jr. Alright, so you should put them like this in order, one next to the other. Don't forget you have 6 of them. Tienen 6 de ellas. Try not to lose them. And if you lose them, if you lose one of them, it might be on the floor under you. It might be on the chair, maybe under your magazine. So don't panic. You'll be able to find it. Alright, boys and girls. So let's take a look at the first one. Okay, so I'm going to grab the first one. And then the first one says, oh, by the way, if you're not ready, you pause the video, you finish cutting, and then you unpause the video. Si no han terminado de recortar los papelitos, podemos pausar el video. Lo ponemos de nuevo cuando terminemos de recortar. Alright, so let's read the first one. The first one says, let's read it. He was an African American. So boys and girls, who was an African American? I'm going to look for my glue stick. Oh, come on, glue stick. So I'm looking for my glue stick. Here's my glue stick. Right here I have it. So boys and girls, who was an African American? Was Cesar Chavez an African American? Or was Martin Luther King an African American? Yeah, you're right. It was Martin Luther King. So I'm going to put just a little bit of glue. Oh. I'm going to put a little bit of glue here. Not a lot. Because I don't want all the purple glue to come out. And I'm going to glue it right here. Because Martin Luther King was an African American. Alright, so now we can move on to our next one. Let's read the second one. He worked to improve conditions for farm workers. Who were farm workers? Farm workers are people who worked on farms, right? There's still people who work on farms. But who helped the farm workers? Was it Cesar Chavez or was it Martin Luther King? And if you said Cesar Chavez, you are right. He fought for the farmers' rights. For the farm workers' right, not for the farmers. And we're going to put it here. It's right there. So each of them has one now. Let's take a look at the next one. The next one says, he went on hunger strikes as a form of protest. So who went on hunger strike? Was it Cesar Chavez or was it Martin Luther King? And if you say Cesar Chavez, you are right. Él fue el que dejó de comer. Era como protesta de hambre para mostrar que él realmente quería un cambio. So he went on hunger strikes. We're gonna glue it right here. So now Cesar Chavez has 2. Martin Luther King Jr. only has 1. Alright, let's take a look at the next one. The next one says, he worked to give equal rights to people of all skin colors. Do you remember who fought because he wanted everyone, no matter the skin color, to have the same rights? Was it Cesar Chavez or Martin Luther King? It was Martin Luther King. You're very right. Él peleó porque, no peleó, sino que él protestaba porque quería que todas las personas de nuestro país, no importara el color de su piel, tuvieran los mismos derechos. So now each of them, Cesar Chavez and Martin Luther King, each of them has 2. Alright, for the last one, boys and girls, here we go. The last one says, he was a Mexican American. Who was a Mexican American? Was it Cesar Chavez or was it Martin Luther King? Martin Luther King was actually African American. So Cesar Chavez was the one that was a Mexican American. Some of you are Mexican Americans, right? Your families are from Mexico, but you were born here in this country. Alright, don't worry if it covers part of his head. No worries, no concerns. Alright, so let's take a look at the last one. The last one says, he boycotted buses as a form of protest. Do you remember? Who said, we're not going to ride buses anymore because Rosa Parks went to jail for that. She didn't give her seat, so she went to jail because of that. Can you imagine going to jail because not giving the seat to a man on a bus? So that was Martin Luther King. Alright, boys and girls. So here we have all the facts for Cesar Chavez. We're going to read them really quick. Cesar Chavez, he worked to improve conditions for farm workers. He went on hunger strikes as a form of protest. And finally, he was a Mexican American. And I want you to color his picture. Over here, boys and girls, we have Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King Jr. He was an African American. He worked to give equal rights to people of all skin colors. He boycotted buses as a form of protest. And when you finish, boys and girls, I also want you to color his pictures. So do not forget to write your name and last name at the top of the page. No se olviden de su nombre y apellido en la parte de arriba de la página. So go ahead, boys and girls. I'm trying to get the entire page on the screen. If you need to pause and then to go back and check that what you did is right, you can do so now. You can pause the video now and double check that all your papers are glued correctly. And that's it for our lesson for today, boys and girls. So see you tomorrow then for reading. Tomorrow's Friday. Yay! Well, have a wonderful Thursday afternoon and see you tomorrow. Bye!